Okay. I mean, April, you can join again. You started. We had a little bit of technical difficulty, but as I was trying to say earlier, the goal I think is going to be to do a lot more live sessions. So um, it's going to be every other day or so, especially when we're live. Obviously, I'll try to improve my setup, and so we are less buggy. We'll do them as well on Twitter and broadcast on YouTube. And the idea is simply to show everybody how we use Quant, right? And how we can use it in the best way possible, very transparent about it. But not just Quant the extension, also the trading agents. So I will talk to you about our where we are in terms of trading agents and how is it going to integrate. But I think essentially it's going to be pretty fun because you're going to be able to trade a lot of different things all the time. I kind of see it as a farming game where you're going to have like a lot of different trading agents. You can see everything through Quant, and you also have your extension all the time, so you can like act and trade on your own. So it's going to be a mix of your agents farming for you and you taking decisions. So I don't know if you heard me earlier, but I think it was choppy. I was saying that we launched a extension on beta testing about 2-3 weeks ago. We had about I think about 60 users or so. Actively trading the competition, we had about 40. And it's actually a great start. That's kind of the size we wanted for this kind of a closed beta, to get some feedback, to see how you guys are using it. And so far, it's pretty incredible. The performance are great across the board. We had, I mean, for competition one, we had about 80% of users in profit, which is just like unheard of. It's not gonna, it cannot remain like that on a long term, obviously. And on competition two right now, the market is down, and so we have about a third of user in profit and 2/3 are in loss, which actually I think makes sense because most users they have a tendency to go long. They don't necessarily short the market. So if Bitcoins goes down, most of you are long, so you might lose on the short term. So we have more people losing right now, but it's still like far above the average. Normally traders, they're like in every kind of apps or tools, you have about 10 to 20% of traders that are profitable. So for now, we're really far ahead. And I also imagine that a lot of users that are right now in profit, in loss in the competition number two, I'm pretty sure that in their overall P&L, a lot of them are still in profit. So, I mean, the way to work, the way to make money with Quant is to be consistent and trade on the long-term horizon, because you can have a lot of signals that you take, and even if you do not mess up anything, even if you just like go on the signal and wait for it to either reach a stop loss or take profit, all of the signals they have per the backtest a win rate. So sometimes you're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, even 5, 6 trade in loss in a row. And that happens. It's just variance. It's just statistics. It does happen. But if you're consistent over time and you take all the signals and you do not close before, you should potentially be profitable over time. Although, like the past performance, do not predict the future ones. But yeah, what we've seen mostly is that there are different strategies of how people are using Quant. I know April maybe has a different strategy. See my stats here. So I started a bit later, the beta test. So I don't have as many trades as some of you, but you can see that I have like 79% win rate. I have, so I took 26 trades in total. I have average win of $30, average loss of $62. And worst rate is 88. So what's interesting here is see that my average win is half the size of my average loss. So on average, yeah, I when I make a win, it's just much smaller than when I loss. And the reason is simple. right now, the way I'm using Quant, I'm basically trying to get good signals. When I see like a lot of signals are long, more longs than short, I'm gonna go long, for instance, or the other way short. And then as soon as I'm in profit of 1%, I will close the trade. So I will manually close the trade, which is actually not something I recommend if you want to be successful on the long term. But that's just the way I'm natively kind of using it. And it means that I have a lot of small wins, but then when there's a loss, it means that I just let the stop loss be reached, and then the loss is bigger. But overall, I'm profitable, and that's like great performance. So it's like about 1% of even more, like 3% of the whole portfolio or something like that in about a week or two, which is really, really good results. And so I think a lot of you are in similar position, and you should be very, very proud of you. One thing we need to think about is to take into account the fees. So as a rule of thumb, right now there is no fees. So actually the profit will be less when we do real trading. If everything was the same, just because of the fees, it's going to be a bit less. So for every $1,000 of volume, you can think on average, you're going to have like 75 cents of fees. So if I have $164,000 of volume, that would be around $120 of fees in total. So it means that my profit is not $306. In reality, it would be $185. So that's still plus 1.8% on my portfolio in a week or so, which is really, really, really good. So yeah, I think the fees and when we actually trade for real is going to do a lot of difference. Another way that I'm trading. So here you all know we still have some bugs. You know, we're testing the build from the last version. So the new version is not pushed yet. We're working on it. But I would say like 90% of my trades, I close them manually. I do not wait for it to reach stop loss take profit, which is probably not the best strategy, but that's just the way I'm using it. Now, I mean, before, yeah. So how much would be taken off the 305 profit? So, like, I have 164K of volume, and on average, you will pay 75 cents per $1,000 of volume. So that would be $120 of fees I would have paid in total. So it means that I would only be $185 in profit right now instead of 306. I mean, I would be at 186.0 and something like that. So yeah, it's like 75 cents per $1,000 or 7 cents per $100. You can think about it like that. But yeah, feel free to ask question, by the way, anytime. I will share you exactly how I do. And then I'll be happy for anyone to come on stage and just show us what is your strategy using Quant. I know we all have different ones. So here I have my Quant open. I see a lot of signals. I see there is a big imbalance of long versus short. Me, I usually check the age. I just want to see the latest signals that populated. And so I'm not necessarily looking all the time at the number of long versus short. I'm more looking at the recent ones. Are they long or short? I'm also looking a lot at the rationale. So I'm not just looking at the confidence score. Confidence score is great because we use it to show you what we really think is a good setup. It's a good signal. Not just the win rate, not just the EV per trade, but also the risk-reward ratio. And that's why on average, long signals, they have a better confidence score than short, because we have a lot of short signals that are very thin. You know, they are, for instance, this one, I'm pretty sure. So if we look at this one, short signal on the 15-minute time frame, you see that the backtest data shows 86.3% win rate. The EV per trade is 0.04%, so it's pretty low. But we tested it on 17,000 trades. So we're pretty confident that this is a really good win rate trade. I mean, we're pretty confident that we can trust it. Why we rate it so low, 64, is because the EV per trade is not high. And the take profit is at 0.6% and the stop loss at 1.3. So essentially your risk reward is theoretically pretty bad. I mean, you could, if you are unlucky and you get into the 15% of trades that will result in a loss, you would lose much more than you could potentially earn. And this phenomenon, we take it into account when we give a confidence score to a trade, because essentially we do not want users to have a first bad experience for a trade that has very high win rate but terrible risk reward. EV per trade is positive, but then if they get unlucky, then they're gonna lose much more than they could have won, and they have a bad experience, and maybe they will not come back. That explains why the confidence score is low. But the reality is that it's still a very good trade. I mean, the win rate is really high. So that's something to take into account. Yeah, I stick to using the R in the confidence score, my procs. Yeah, how do you use them exactly? Feel free to write down. Do you also look at the tools created by Lou for Proper? So I do not yet, but I could. The reason is that I'm not really trading the charts, and I'm kind of trying to trade exactly this new way that we're trying to enforce, which is the trading the signals. The risk is that if you have too many different indicators, it can be, for me at least, it can be a bit overwhelming. So I rather stick to just like pure signals, short number of short versus number long, their win rate, etc., and that's just enough for me to make a decision. One thing I look at though is our arena. So I'm checking as well if we're more or less bullish on the 24 hours, and then if I'm doing a short trades, I'm looking as well if we're more or less bullish on the 1 hour. So it's another thing that I basically come here, look at this, I then look at the different signals, and then I decide if I want to trade, which is long or short. I actually think that I have I think I do almost as many short signal, like short as long, and I think I win more, like bigger amount on the long signals, but I win more often on the short signals. Yeah. So yeah, I think the arena is very good because it's you should not look at the portfolio number. It's not like relevant at all, because this kind of I mean, for the 1 day it can be interesting, but for the 1 hour, the portfolio here is not like what's interesting, because there's just so many trades, so you would lose on the fees. You'd be like losing in every scenario. Actually, these agents are like binary options agents. So think about it for the poly market 1 hour BTC prediction, and now this is going to be HIP4 and Hyperliquid, and you're going to have binary option as well. And so these agents are exactly optimized for that, helping you understand what direction the market is gonna take in the next hour or in the next day. And so that's kind of the purpose. The goal is to make soon these agents actually tradable. So what's going to happen is that you'll be able to deploy a binary option agent either on poly market or on Hyperliquid HIP4 when it's out. And right now you see for instance, on the 1 hour agents, we have win rates that are that have an edge, like 52.6% is an edge on more than 1,000 prediction, but it's still pretty thin. If you look on the other way, the worst performers, 55.3%, it's actually very good because that's a big edge in counter trades. If you counter trade this one, it's a really big edge. But one thing that we're going to implement soon as well, I think maybe this week, you'll be able to see data of how this agent, when they vote together, you're going to have better performances. So for instance, you have like a grouping of 5 agents, like maybe the 5 worst performing and the 5 best performing. And based on their stats, if they all go long or if they all go short or if they're contrarian, then the backtest data show that we can have accuracy rates above like 58% or 60%, so very, very high. And when you have an edge like that, you can make a lot of money. Actually, I have some bots running on Polymarket that I've been training on our data, and they're doing pretty well right now. And so my goal is to allow you guys as well to deploy some bots easily based on our data set. MyProx. I go for the highest risk reward and highest confidence score at all times. I don't take a trade if there are too many mixed signals of shorts and longs in the same suggestions. Yeah, I think it's a good strategy. And do you close the trade manually, or do you wait for it to reach stop loss and take profit? Because that will have essentially a huge impact on the performances. The more we close trades manually, and theoretically, if you're not a great trader, the more we're gonna mess up the performances. Yeah. So I mean, you can still do great, but I think on the long term, if you want to be consistent, like trying to stick to what we optimize for is probably the best. But I understand. I personally, as well, close manually because you want to secure your profit. You know. So yeah, essentially, that's one of the strategies. You take the highest confidence score that is recent, and you just like go for it, or you can try to say there's more longs than shorts, or you can just look at the win rate if you just prefer to have only high win rate. Because for instance, this one trade, for instance, it has 91 confidence score, so it's really high. But the win rate is 57%. It's very good, but it's not a guaranteed win. All right. You could find, I'm pretty sure, like, yeah, as I mentioned, on shorts, you have a 92% win rate. So, the win rate is much, much better, although the confidence score is much lower. But then the EV per trade is lower, that's why. So it really depends on what's your style, what you prefer to, like, if you feel better having a better win rate, or if you feel fine having a worse win rate and you lose more trades and it takes more time, but on the long term, you're going to be more profitable. What else do you have? Chris, do you open long and short trades at the same time? I do, but actually it's a very good question. I personally do, because sometimes I feel like I caught a trend, but I have a trade, but it has a very large long like stop loss and take profit. Maybe it's going to be plus 9% and minus 6%. And so it's a very big range. So I'll go long, but then at the same time, I feel like, now on the short term, I think I can make a 0.4% down on the short, and then I'll take the short. And so in many cases, I'm actually having long and short on the same assets, and both trades end up winning because the short is just on a very tiny spread, and the long on a much larger. So That's definitely something. It's also, but it's not going to be like that for real trading on Hyperliquid, because on Hyperliquid there is a thing that you cannot have a long and short position on the same asset in the same time. You can only do it if your account has more than $100,000 of volume. And then if you have that, then you can create a sub account, and then you can be long and short a same asset in the same time. So at the beginning, we will not support that. So what I think I would recommend is, since they're very correlated, is, for instance, Bitcoin and Ethereum. If you want to go long and short in the same time, I would go long Bitcoin and short Ethereum, or the other way around. So then you can have both, and you're not gonna be facing this limit. Do you have other questions or suggestions before I dive more into agents or what's next? I know, like, we shared a lot of PNL preview from everybody, and most of you were doing incredibly well. So I just hope and wish to all of you that it's going to be the same when we go live. The plan is to go live with the execution in essentially next week we're going to do alpha testing, so only the team will test. And the week after it's going to be beta testing, so all of you will test with like new features on the extension and execution Hyperliquid. And the week after it's going to be like if we're doing good on the development side as well, you're going to have trading agents as well that are going to be deployed live in the same time. So normally by the end of this week, I will release on my Quant site trading agents. So right now you can create like this trading bot, like binary option trading bots in the arena. But we're going to have another option, which is going to be actual trading bot. And so it's going to be paper trading first, but the flow to create them will be very similar to right now when you create a prediction agent. And I think these trading agents will be really, really huge. You'll be able to see all the trading strategies that are in Quant. So we have about 50 or 60 right now. You will be able to see all of their stats, backtest performance, and then you can select the one you want in your bot for trading. And then you'll be able to adjust everything. So for every signal, the sizing, do you want to have like fixed number of USDC? Do you want to have a percentage of the equity of your bot for each trade? How many concurrent positions you want to have? Maximum 3, 4, 5. What is the max drawdown? All of these kind of things. And so you'll be able to create as many bots as you want that first test in paper trading, and then it will be live on Hyperliquid. The bots are probably going to be more performing on the long run. We're also going to have a mode where essentially either you design the bot on your own, or you just prompt our AI, and our AI will, like, based on your prompt, create the bot. But the bot is not going to be AI. The bot is just going to be created with you, with the help of AI, but using all our signals and all our strategies. So you'll see exactly what strategies are included in the bot and what exactly are the rules, and you can edit them after. It's just basically, instead of spending 10, 15 minutes to parameter the bot, especially if you do not know how it should be, just ask AI and it will create a custom bot that is optimized, always optimized. And you know that all the strategies that the bot are using are transparently given to you, and it's going to be and it should work pretty well. I mean, it's not financial advice, but I have some bots running already as well. I'm testing all of that before I'm putting it in your hands, and they're all doing well. So it's another cool thing. You know, we have right now we have more than 60,000 signals that we've generated. So almost all of them are EV plus, and we still have like 65, 66% win rate. And there's some conversation internally with the team, saying like, should we really give that to other people, or should we just like trade on our own, you know? But the vision is to basically help everybody build their old trading stack. You know, think about it again as a farming game. You can use Quant the extension, or there's going to be it will be accessible as well on the web app and on the mobile. So you can be an actor of the game. So you just make the trades on your own, but you will also see all your agents, and you will see how they will perform over time. It will be really fun, and so that's something. Yeah, mobile. I mean, that's probably mobile is one of the most common feedback. Maybe the biggest feedback we had from everybody is that you wanted mobile. So mobile, I think we're gonna try to push it soon, but first it's gonna be through the web app. So we're gonna put the quant execution model, everything in the desktop, and then you will be able to access it on your phone through responsive web app, and the mobile app will be a bit later because it will be too much overhead, too many different environments that we do not want to have all at once. But yeah, it's coming. So you'll be able to use Quant on mobile and also see all your trading agents into one place and see all how they perform into a big equity curve, like a chart, where you see your trading agents, your binary option agents, if you want some, and your quant performances. You'll be able to see all of them individually or all mixed up, and you see how you're doing with quant overall. So yeah, I mean, we're not super. I mean, personally, I'm not maybe as vocal on X, or I'm not pushing as much yet because I'm basically hands-on building. But it's just like the product is so good, like the performance are actually so good. It's hard to believe, and I'm pretty sure that it like as soon as we go live and everybody will have their thing, if it works as well in real condition, the marketing will work on its own. And essentially, if it's products that helps you make money, you'll be happy anyway. So that's for me. That's I'm using Quant, and I have binary options bots, and I have trading bots. So all of the products that we're going to release, I'm testing them on my own, and all of them are working. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I feel like I'm talking as a monologue. If anyone wants to jump, maybe April, you can as well, and come in and share your strategy, or if you have any questions, can help.
Yeah, I can definitely confirm that it's working, because this is coming from somebody who's not a trader, and yeah, my win rate is crazy, actually. I don't know how. Maybe it's beginner's luck. Let's revisit this in a month or so. Can I share my screen? Maybe. I think you have to unshare.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm, I think this one. Yeah. So as you can see, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, basically my strategy is like similar to this. Usually I check the signals, as we're trading signals, right? And I put a lot of confidence in the confidence score. So this is like the main thing I'm watching. What I like to watch also is like the ratio between longs and shorts, which is why I opened a long recently. It's not doing so great, but I suppose that can change. And yeah, I like to open like different trades also for like a short. Let's say I would check then one day and then I check for, you see, there is mostly they're short, and for 1 hour, so I can see what's the ratio between these two time frames. Um, I kind of feel like it's a bit of a hedging, maybe. I don't know. Um, but yeah, also I do a lot of manual closing. I would say like 90% manually closing, because when I see I'm in profits, I'm like, okay, I have to secure. But I guess we can learn, everybody here, to take profits like not completely, but like close a position with the percentage, and then let it run the rest. So that I haven't used yet. But yeah, basically I have like almost 90% win rate with 58 trades, which is, I don't know.
Can you go back? What is your, I can't see actually. Your average win is 69, right? And average loss is 282.
Yeah.
So you're in a similar spot as me, right? So you make a lot of small wins,
Yes.
but then you take big hits from time to time.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not afraid to lose. I'm afraid to lose the profit, actually. Yeah, seems like it. But it's still been working quite nicely for me, even now in these market conditions. I opened mostly longs, and I'm currently on the third position. So yeah, I don't know how I managed to do that. I do check agents also. I like to check those with the best the top 20. I think the page is a bit buggy at the moment. I don't think it's filtering. Anyway,
I know top 20 is when you click there, it's showing them in the chart or hiding them from the
oh
chart.
yeah, right. So I like to check if they're leaning more bullish or bearish. So this is something I do. And what else do I do? I check sometimes sentiment on X, but not too much. Like that's another thing. You don't want to mix too many things in the same pot, right? So like, but they do say you have to respect the pump and the dump. So sometimes I like to do that. That's it. I don't know. We'll see how it goes in like 1 month. What I wanted to ask you actually is, how do you define the sizing? Which kind of position do you take? Because my logic is usually, okay, I'm gonna make a few trades with, um, if I make a few trades in a row and I lose this amount of money, then I'm still in profit. This is how I'm thinking. So I'm like, I'm not putting all in. I'm not degening in one signal. I'm like putting like, I don't know, 25% max or 50% when I'm really optimistic.
Yeah, actually, I don't have a big rule for that. There are some rules where, I mean, if you want to be optimized as a trader, you need to have a specific ratio of your portfolio that you're going to risk on every trade. But usually, it really depends as well on your portfolio size. So if you have a 100 million or $1 billion portfolio under management, you will risk 1 or 2% per trade. But we're gonna trade depending on some people. But if you trade with a couple $100 or a couple thousand or even a couple dozens of thousands, it's gonna be a very different. Personally, right now in paper trading, I'm trading between 10% and 50% on the equity I have per trade. I never have 100% of my equity in a trade. I always have at least 20% that is not in a trade. But yeah, I mean, if you're gonna trade with something like between $5,000 and $10,000, that's probably what I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna also probably be using leverage, but not high. So maybe 2x leverage maximum. And at least on the me using Quant, I'm probably gonna follow the same kind of strategy, which is like you are doing, like I'm doing. So trying to get a lot of small wins and make sure that my losses are maybe bad, but they are covered by the stop loss. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to deploy a lot of trading agents, and the trading agents, they will be more long term, so they will follow the strategies exactly. Which me as a human, I want to try to add some value. It's probably I'm taking value away, but it's a way I'm gonna use it. And so yeah, it's gonna be mostly vibe trading, but the beauty with this is that we are all vibe trading, and so far we're not doing horrible. So that's the fun of it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I think it's a great proof that something is working. I would love to hear from somebody who in the community if they could share what is their strategy. Anyway,
Yeah. If anyone wants to jump on stage, feel free. Just ask. We'll add you. Otherwise, I'm checking the message. So I was taught in other trading group that one trade should be 1% of my portfolio, but with paper trading, I went wild. Yeah, that's true. I mean, you probably, if you are very, very serious trader and you're going for the long term and your goal is to try to guarantee 10, 15, 20% a year, yes, you're going to trade 1%. If you're more like vibe trading with smaller amounts, then you're probably going to trade a bit more. So it really depends what's your trading style, what's your goal is, and you can do both with Quant. You can go a bit more degen or more like serious. And some look at the volume of the force. Yeah, I think you're talking about the competition number 2, like $5,000 volume, 200. Yeah, it's basically one user did one very good trade, and that's it, and he won that during that period. And so, for instance, these users with $5,000 volume made $200, whereas me, I made $300 with $164,000 volume. So this user is much, much better than me. Also, although I'm number 3 here, so I'm still winning the competition. So yeah, I mean, if I can sum up, right now we're finalizing this kind of beta testing phase 1. We release some new features. So among the new features that we're going to release, a lot of feedbacks you have, like adding the current price here, having all the numbers make sense everywhere. We're probably also going to have on your active position how far you are from stop loss or take profit. So it will be a bar that's moving right or left, showing you how far you are from either take profit or stop loss, so you can see it better. We are gonna have this will be much more visible. I think it's very important data. So when you have a signal, it tells you to buy or sell at a certain price. But then if you do not buy the signal right at the moment it was created, then the spot price moves up or down. And then when you execute the trade, you execute at the current price, right? But here we can see what is the current price versus the price where the signal was created. So one thing I like to do, for instance, is I see short signals with a very high win rate but very tight take profit, and I see that sometimes the price went up, so the short would be a bit in loss, but actually I think it's a better entry price. So I do it. I do that several times, and then it just works pretty well. I noticed. So That's one thing. We'll make that, and we're also going to add some AI features. So basically, you will ask AI to recommend you among all the signals one good signal right now, and also give you an explanation on why this signal. So it will be another layer to help you make a decision besides the backtest, beside the confidence score, but AI will also have all of this data and tell you, okay, maybe you should do that right now. And these are the reason why it might be interesting. So that will be among the new features when we release the new version with execution hyperliquid. Yeah. Zunga, my strategy is mixed. I started my adventure with trend lines and I still draw them. Support and resistance levels are very helpful. Now signals from Quant have been added. I also look at the BTFD or knife catching from Lou. Yeah, I think essentially you got to find your own stack. So you're going to have a lot of different tools that exist and many more are going to be created. And the idea is that you find the stack that works for you. And sometimes, it's going to be a mix of different tools and that help you make a decision. The point is like to try to find an edge the way you can. Yunbaozi, how we read PNL. Some are in red on the leaderboard, means negative. Yeah, it's just like there we didn't put the minus here. I can add it, but essentially if it's red, it's minus. If it's green, it's plus. Yeah. Will I be able to open positions manually without signals from Quant with my own stop loss and take profit? Yes. So these features, it was broken right now, but essentially here you can just select signal and you can edit and you can change the stop loss take profit and you can also set a limit. So you'll basically create an order with the price you want, with the stop loss and take profit you want. So yeah, you'll be able to. One feature we want to add pretty soon as well is to be able to have like like trading signal creators. I think we mentioned it a long time ago. Essentially like traders, influencers, or any kind of people that have expertise and knowledge to input trades into Quant, and then you'll receive their signal, their trade setup within Quant interface, and you will see that this signal was generated 5 minutes ago by this trader or this influencer or whatever. So it's not exactly going to be copy trading, but it's going to be trading influencers that can input their trade into Quant, send them directly to you, and you can trade them, or you can even include them into your trading bots.
I have a question. We see that they're never short signals, the ones with the crown. Why is that?
Yeah, I think I mentioned that. I try to explain a bit, but it's something we might change because I agree that like the highest confidence is always long, and the reason is because a lot of short signals, they have much tighter stop loss and take profit, right? So they have high win rate, but like lower EV per trade, tighter take profit and stop loss. And so this in our rating, we consider it has less confidence because an individual trade has a worse risk reward. So if you lose this individual trade as a user, it's gonna feel much worse because you're gonna you can lose like 5 times or 10 times what you could have earned. So it's pretty worse. So that's one of the things why the confidence score is worse. Confidence score is highest usually when you have a better EV per trade with decent win rate. I think long signals are also on average higher because on average like Bitcoin went more up over time, but I don't think it's a criteria we use so much. But yeah, there is an imbalance right now, and long signals have higher confidence than short signals. We will adjust that.
Awesome.
So yeah, By the end of the month, we should be live Hyperliquid with trading agents on paper trading and maybe live. And then Q2 is going to be focused on integrating more partners, more exchanges. We have a lot of partners already that we can integrate. They will do marketing internally. So big exchanges that will basically push Quant to their audience. And so you'll be able to trade on Hyperliquid, or you're going to be able to trade on these different exchanges via Quant. So it's going to be one thing that we focus on in Q2. And we're going to focus on a lot of different things. You're going to have, obviously, everything you do within Quant will give you Quant points. It's something we're going to use later on for different kind of incentives and reward. And yeah, I think that's about it. I mean, we're heads down building. The market is pretty rough right now. I mean, the trading market is great because it's a great environment for traders. So we're gonna have a lot of fun. But in crypto in general, it's very gloomy. People are a bit. I mean, nothing is really working except like trading products and so on and so forth. So as long as we provide a great product, we're very confident with how things are moving forward. And the product and should, I mean, we should market it, but if the product is, my goal is basically to build the greatest product possible and focus on that. And if we do, then we're gonna gather incredible community and grow from there. And yeah, and I think we're on a very good track for having a good product. Francis, gotta jump. Just want to add, being part of a team where everyone's killing it. Super exciting to be involved in 10x outputs across the board. Yeah, 100% great. It's a lot of fun. I mean, I probably should do more build in public, but internally it's just a lot of fun because we're shipping so fast. A lot of great products. It's all like money related products, so it's kind of a game. All these different things. Especially if they go up. So yeah, we are having a lot of fun actually. For now, you can get them for the Quant points. You can get them in a Quest store. They're super rare and valuable. Yeah, so Quant points are going to be rare. It's not like something you'll easily get thousands or millions of. It's going to be scarce resource that are distributed to OG core contributors. And basically, if you use the app, do some volume and so on and so forth, you'll get some points as well. But we want to make sure that they are very scarce. So yeah, any questions remain, or can we maybe call it a day? I'll try to make more, and obviously they will get like streams, and obviously they will get better over time, both in terms of setup, but also the format or even how we prepare everything. Essentially, it's going to be, I think, moving forward, it's going to be more trading sessions. So when we have all the agents and the execution live on Hyperliquid, I'll just like stream my screen and how I use it, how I trade. And so, yeah, I think it's going to be fun. We'll test with that. How to find a shop? I think April has the answer to that. Yeah, it's in Quest. All right, let's call it a day then. I mean, we'll share the updates in the chat anyway. Let's see how you guys can do in the competition. It's ending in 2 days. After that, we'll be focused on like the actual launch, and when we're live, then it will be like nonstop. So last, I guess, 1-2 weeks, mostly chill, and then it's gonna be like heads down. Okay, guys, thank you very much for being here. It's really a pleasure to have you, really like core contributors, really helping us a lot to get the word out, make the community lively. I think it's fantastic. You can know that the team is working insanely hard to make the best product possible and provide not only you with the best product, but also try to get as much value as we can for you. And yeah, I think we're very early, but it feels like it's going in the right direction. So it's all good. I'm very bullish. Okay, let's go today. Have a good one, everyone. Let's be in touch. See you.
Bye bye. Thank you, everybody.